Stand up. So
Mm-hmm.
what got you into the content creation space? Because I remember I got introduced to you through watching my cousin and being introduced to In the Black Media, something I wasn't
Okay.
aware of. But through watching him, I started, obviously, you see the thumbnails on the side, and I seen
Mm-hmm.
Zariak doing this thing on the streets of New York. So what got you introduced to content creating? What motivated you to want to get into that space?
What motivated me, like a couple years ago, back in like 20, I think it was, to be honest, it was by accident. So subconsciously, I was kind of trained for it. So my leader, Commander Jenny Hanna, he had a radio show that he used to do. Well, he still does. He does it every Monday from 9 to 11. And so I'm good with computers. Like I'm good with computers and networking and stuff like that. So he brought me into the radio show department to work the mixer boards and stuff like that. So I had to learn how to work the mixers and stuff like that. But it was always behind the scene. I was never speaking. But in watching it, I was kind of learning how to like run a show where there's news articles, taking calls and stuff like that. So in 2014, Kataza, who's in the video, you know, the Cross the Line video, he's the reason that I do it. Like honestly, because he wanted to do his own radio show. So the radio show was going to be called Israelite Vibes, and I didn't want to be a part of it. I don't want to say I didn't want to be a part of it. I didn't want to infringe on what he was trying to do. So this was going to be his baby. He was doing it on his own. So when he first started doing the shows, I watched like 2 or 3 of the shows, but they was real boring. Like he was doing it like it was a class. He wasn't doing it like a show. Like it was just like, okay, we're gonna go to John 2 and 5, and this is what this means. It was like dull as hell. And so because of me watching how Commander Jenny Hanna did the radio show, I said to him, all I said to him was, I said, let me do like 2 or 3 shows with you so I can show you and help you. So the whole goal for me was I was only gonna do like 2 or 3 shows with him, and then I was gonna step back, and then he was gonna keep doing the show. But after we did like the 2 or 3 shows, so I'm showing him, you find a news article, you talk about that. You take callers. So we was taking, cause we was on this show, this radio station in New York City that was called Linkage Radio. So we was on an actual radio show, and we were streaming it on YouTube. So they had the phone lines and all that stuff like that. And after 3 shows, he said, you know, why don't you just stay? You know what you're doing. I could learn a lot. And so that's how it started. Now, doing it the way that I do it now was just from observing all of y'all. So like watching how y'all do it. And what I notice about content in the social media world, you can't wait until, so our show was every Thursday, but you sometimes can't wait till every Thursday in today's world to bring out, by the time you come to Thursday, 7 other topics done came. So what you're going to do, all 7 topics, and then they're going to be like, okay, I already heard somebody else's opinion on it. So now from watching, and I can't put everybody in this category. So watching like Hip Hop Uncensored, watching Piper Boy from a battle rap perspective, watching Shade Room on Instagram, or Say Cheese on Instagram, like watching how they would constantly, whatever happens, they would talk about it within the hour, sometimes within 15 minutes. So y'all kind of sparked that interest, because it's like, okay, if I'm going to really take advantage of what a podcast is and what creating content is, I got to follow it. So I'll pick up my phone like this. I'll be online. If I see a hot topic, I'll make a clip about it. If it's hot enough to where I need to do a live stream about it, I'll do a live stream about it. So watching shows like yours and others, Doggy Diamonds is another one. You know, I could, as in my brain key function, I could just name a bunch of YouTube platforms, and I'm naming black ones on purpose because they don't get enough love that they should. You know what I'm saying? So y'all are the inspiration for me to really go into podcasting like the way I have lately.